And what a great card coming up. 3 world title fights happening in Invicta 7. I mean, you really, it looks like you're pulling out all the stops on this one.
You know, you always try to deliver the best cards that you possibly can. And this was a situation that, this card makes sense. It makes sense for, having all 3 championship title matches. And you know what? This could be the best one yet. It really could be. There's so many great matchups on this card.
On paper, it looks fantastic. The little warrior Barb Honchak defending the flyweight title against Leslie Smith, who, I thought she looked great at 35. Looks even better at 25. Carla Esparza and Claudia Gadelha for the strawweight title, and the inaugural bantamweight title, Lauren Murphy and Miriam Nakamoto. I did see Carla Esparza take to social media this week. Apparently she's going through a personal loss of some kind. Was there any point where she asked you whether she could pull out of the fight, or is she just pushing through this?
Oh, absolutely not. No, she's a warrior. She's ready. I talked to her management. She's ready. We all have those, personal issues, and I think it really solidifies what kind of a professional she is. That she's, going to work through it. I think she's probably in the best shape I've ever seen her, and I think she's ready for this fight. So, I think that, I think everything is going to be good in that aspect, for sure.
Was there any concern of yours putting 3 world title fights on the card? The concern being that if all 3 go to decision, it could really kind of slow the card down. I mean, we've seen cards kind of run long as recently as Bellator recently. And, of course, everyone points back to the ill-fated UFC 33 card, which, died on pay-per-view before the end. Was there any concern of yours scheduling 3 world title fights on one card?
No, and the big deal is, I don't know, have you seen my athletes? I mean, None of them play it safe, and the thing is in each one of these matchups, even if it's a possibility that, it goes to the ground, and, I think some people sometimes get, a little put off with that and the fact that they think it's a little less, more boring. That's not going to happen here. And the reason so is because no matter who's matched up in the title matches, there's at least one athlete in these matches that is going to push that pace. I mean, they don't play it safe. They're coming in to fight. They're coming in to win, and they're prepared. And each and every one of them want that belt. I mean, we've all seen Leslie Smith fight. There's not a chance that she's not going to fight for that belt. And when you have someone that, with her fighting style that just keeps coming forward and coming at you, it's sure to be a good fight in terms of action. So, a lot of people talk about Claudia and Carla. But if that goes to the ground, guess what? That is going to be a fast-paced moving, just because of the way, their styles and how they match up. And then, of course, you got Miriam and Laura. Lauren, I said Laura, sorry. But, both of those are warriors. I mean, so I'm not worried about that at all. I mean, I've had matchups before where I do get concerned, but this is not the case. I don't think there's a fight on this card that warrants that kind of concern for me as a promoter.
Well, it always seems to deliver, the Invicta cards do. And now we're going to see the debut of Felice Herrig in Invicta, coming in with a lot of hype, a lot of social media attention as well, taking on the tiny tornado Tisha Torres. And I know you're excited for Felice's debut. We all are. But Tisha always seems to be matched up with people with a lot of hype behind her. Thug Rose Namajunas before this, and now Felice Herrig. I mean, Tisha, she really doesn't seem to get any plum slots on this. She always seems to be going up against someone who, I don't know, social media or the media at large is really throwing a lot of weight behind.
Or, she's sometimes going up against, athletes with, more experience in certain areas, as far as MMA goes. But you know what? The one thing about Tisha is that Tisha wants this fight. I mean, I look at her again as a professional that she continues to move forward in her career. She doesn't want an easy route. She wants to earn each and every step of the way, that progression forward. So, yeah, she's ready for this, and I think it's going to be a good test to see exactly where she is at. And there's a lot of hype on it, but you know something? When you've got one athlete that there's so much hype around and maybe not as much the other athlete, it does tend to pull that other athlete up and certainly, put them in that spotlight as well. So, to me, it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. And a little bit of Canadian content as well. Julia Budd taking on Charmaine Not So Sweet Tweet and at the 145 level. And two great Canadian kickboxers. I'm really looking forward to this one. Bottom line, though, does the winner of this fight get a shot at Cyborg Justino?
It's possible. We're going to evaluate that again. We also have Adrian Gomes sitting there, that wants that shot too. So, I think that what we'll do is base it on, performance and things like that and make a decision from there of who goes up against Cyborg.
So if this is a knockdown, drag-out affair, a fight of the year candidate, that'll play into the winner's chances of getting that shot much more. Is that what I'm hearing?
I definitely think so. Yeah, I definitely think that, that process of, taking a look at it and, seeing who's really, best suited for that shot against Cyborg.
And how are we sure that Charmaine Tweet has all her paperwork in order? I know she got stopped at the border last time.
Yes, she does. And something, I'm glad you brought that up because I really would like to clarify something on this. I know that she, took some heat that it was said that it was, something that she did wrong, but that's not true. It was actually something that was done wrong on our part from that department. So, yeah, it certainly wasn't her fault, but this time, I'm handling it, and we are good to go. So
excellent. And I know whoever you get at the border really plays a difference in how you're treated as well. I've flown down to Kansas City many times. Sometimes I just compare notes with the border agent on best rib places to go to. Other times it's an incredible ordeal. So it really all depends. And I know that Charmaine is the kind of athlete who would have everything in order, and really looking forward to her fight as well. But what I want to know is who's going to be calling these fights, because Julie Kedzie is going to be fighting for the UFC in Australia on that date. Mauro Ronaldo's got Showtime commitments. Who's going to be behind the microphone?
Well, I can't tell you yet, but I think it is going to surprise people. We're going to make that announcement this next week. So, but I think people are going to be happy. Of course, we miss Julie. We miss Mauro. That's my dream team with Mo. But the replacements, I think, are going to please a lot of people, and I think that I know they're excited to have the opportunity to get to call these fights, and yeah, I think people are going to be happy, but I'm going to have to, string you out a little bit longer and tell you that, we're going to make that announcement this next week.
Or are we going to see Boz Rutan return to the booth?
No, you won't.
No, he will not? Okay, so there you go. It's going to be a whole new booth. Is King Mo going to be back?
Yes, Mo will be there. We do, Boz had a conflict, so, of course, we always love to have Boz here. It's like family, so... But no, this is going to surprise some people, and it's always good to have a nice little surprise, especially if it's a good one, right?
Absolutely, and definitely looking forward to see what rabbit you pull out of the hat there. Moving on, though, this will be the first event where Janet Martin has not been the matchmaker. She has left the organization. What happened there?
There's a lot of things I can't talk about, but what and it wouldn't be professional of me to talk about them. I can just tell you that there were a lot of bad things that, affected the company and the athletes. And when that kind of stuff is happening, you have to make decisions to move forward in different directions. And, we wish her well. I don't know that we'll ever see her back in the business in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that sounds pretty serious, and if it's something that would chase her from the business entirely. There were some rumors of financial mismanagement from Janet's side. Was that part of the reason, or did that play into the reasons why she is no longer with the company and in the sport?
Boy, Carlin, you're digging. The thing is a lot of mistakes on a lot of different levels, and... I'd rather not talk about what happened. I'd rather talk about what we're doing moving forward. And, there was a process. There's some cleanup going on, reorganization. But aside from that, we're still moving forward. We're making a difference. We're changing the landscape every day. And for me, that's the most important thing.
All right, just one last thing on this topic, though. Is there any truth that you're remaining rather quiet on the issue at this point because there may be charges brought in this matter?
No. Walking away. Like I said, I'm a person that, people make mistakes, people do dumb stuff, people, get themselves way in over their head and they choose to hide things and not, but I'm not someone that likes to kick someone when they're down. For me, it's about let's move on. That's the best way I can say it, is that I think it's a situation that, lessons have been learned on both sides. I've learned a lot of lessons on my side from this situation, and I certainly believe the same. It's just best to move on, let it go, and continue to focus on what's positive. Stomping around on a bunch of negativity doesn't help anyone. And right now what we need is to continue to forge forward, and that's where my head is at, and, that's the route I've chosen to take.
Okay, and who is handling the matchmaking then, now that Janet is now no longer with the promotion?
Me right now. Me right now. I mean, I'm kind of handling everything right now. My big deal is just getting through this show, and then, I'll make arrangements, for a new matchmaker. I certainly, although as matchmaker strike force, it's really, I can't do both jobs. Mm-hmm. It's too much, and right now I'm making myself coming and going, and certainly fearful that I may drop the ball, because there's just too much. I'm spread too thin right at the moment. So I will definitely bring someone in. I've been blessed to have, some people in the industry that are helping us in ways of, any consulting, and that kind of thing if I'm preoccupied and something comes up and I need. So, I've got a good support system, and I think that's always been the case with Invicta from day one, is I think that, people love what we're doing, people love, the product we're delivering, and people are very supportive, and when you have that, you have lots to be thankful for, especially on a day-to-day Thanksgiving here in the States, Very grateful and thankful to everybody, the fans pitch in to help and support. I think people really realize that, I have been going through a struggle with, the things that have happened and where I'm at right now in the company, and, it's amazing to me, amazing how many people come forward and really want to do their best to help you move something forward, and they have that faith and belief. Flip side of that is it scares the heck out of you because that's a lot of weight to carry, right? But I'm pretty blessed and very thankful.